You're watching the SEC on ESPN. Welcome to Gainesville, Florida for a top 10 matchup here in women's collegiate gymnastics. The crowd is in the seats in the O-Dome, and they're ready to welcome the number 6 team in the country, the Arkansas Razorbacks. And they're going to face off against another number 3 team in the country, the Florida Gators. Hello, everyone. I am John Roethlisberger alongside Olympic silver medalist, NCAA champion Sam Pesek. Sam, Arkansas has never won here in their history, but why is tonight going to be compelling?
Well, just last year, Arkansas upset Florida, and they just are coming off of a season-high team score. So it's safe to say that they're heating up, but I would not count Florida out. One, they're ranked 3rd in the country, and they struggled on vault last weekend. They're hungry to get back to the competition floor and show everybody why they are the number 1 team in the country.
It feels like one that'll come down to that last routine. Well, let's talk stars, some big stars in this competition. Let's start with the Florida Gators, Sky Blakely.
She is so dynamic. She gets sky high on all of her skills. Watch this dismount way above the bar. Best gymnast to do that skill right there. But really, she's an all-around athlete, solid on all the events. Such a joy to watch and follow her career. And then Jocelyn Robertson for Arkansas is the superstar on their team, and another gymnast that is just so fun to watch. She's so powerful, and she really brings that focus and intention to detail on all of her skills, especially on balance beam right there. And get ready for floor, because you can't just not smile when you're watching her perform that floor routine.
Teammates on the last World Championship team. Just a few months ago, they competed together on that world team. You can see national team members currently on NCAA rosters. Outstanding athletes in women's collegiate gymnastics. Well, we do not have to take this journey alone, thankfully. We've got Taylor Davis with us, and Taylor's got more on the Florida Gators. Taylor?
Thank you, John. Well, this first rotation is incredibly important to this Florida team, coming off some struggles on vault last week in their meet against Auburn, a 48.6, the Gators' lowest output since 2002. They're looking to turn the page on that here tonight. But good news for Florida, Lee Bowie was injured during that rotation last week, had to be carried off the mat. But Jenny Rowland told us this week, Lee will not require surgery. It's a hyperextended knee, no structural damage. They expect her back in a few weeks, but unavailable here tonight. John, the flu has also gone through this team. Amelia Desidor will not compete. Anya Pilgrim only on bars. These lineups are a bit fluid, but Florida's got the depth to handle it.
My goodness, Taylor. Other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play? Florida Gators got some challenges on vault, but they certainly have got the athletes to make up for it. How does a dual meet work? 6 gymnasts per team per event. The top 5 scores count. That is something to keep in mind, a very important part of women's collegiate gymnastics. Obviously, the team with the highest score at the end wins. The home team, Florida Gators in this case, they will start on vault and on floor exercise. The visitors start on bars and on balance beam. The first gymnast to go for the Florida Gators. Talk about an embarrassment of riches, Sam. Kayla DiCello, she is a world all-around medalist. Here she is leading off this vault rotation for the Florida Gators.
Well, she's one of the 6 athletes on this team that's been part of the U.S. senior national team. Strong leadoff. You're going to see a Yurchenko 1.5. Nicely done. Controlled hop in front, which is what you want to see. She jumped out of it last week, gave it a lot of extra juice. And, you know, we talked about them struggling last week on vault, only scoring the 48.6, but I don't think it's indicative at all. There was an injury. Everyone was rattled in the lineup, and I am willing to bet we're going to get back to business with this team here tonight.
And that looks like a great start, which you'd love to see. Now let's hop over to another world medalist, Jocelyn Robertson, leading off the uneven bars for the Razorbacks.
She's one of those athletes that you just can tell has that look in her eye that she is going to hit her routine. Now, she had some leg separation, and she's really fighting through this. And even when I'm watching her, I'm not nervous. She's definitely going to make this routine. That is why she's in this leadoff spot for Arkansas.
Man, she just battled through that routine.
Yeah.
Impressive fight from Jocelyn.
Bars, in my opinion, is so hard because once you get a little off balance on rhythm or you let go and the timing is off, it's really tough to regain that normal consistency throughout the rest of the bar routine.
So the Florida Gators lead off with a 9.9. Here's Gabby Dizador in the 2 spot.
Another 1.5. She keeps that first foot planted on the ground. Just a couple of foot movements with the right foot.
And that's one thing we've noticed, Sam. The judges are really not going easy on these steps early in the season.
Yeah, you see she moved it twice. So curious to see how the judges, they weren't really dramatic or out of control steps. So I am curious. I would be willing to bet they took maybe a half for each step.
And up to 2/10 for a step, depending on how big it is. So you give the judges that opportunity. We call it that gray area, a 1/2 to 2/10, and it just open yourself up. The best thing you can do, as you'll hear throughout tonight, is stick your landings and not give the judges the opportunity to move that pencil. Back over to the uneven bars. Judges seem to be marinating, if you will, over that Jocelyn Robertson bar score as Haley Klein gets ready to go, the junior out of Lake Forest, Illinois.
During our coach's call, head coach Jordan Weber had nothing but amazing things to say about this athlete coming up. She said, you know, she's really been a strong leader for us and really, hands down, the hardest worker on the team by far. She did not show up to Arkansas being a bar worker and worked her way into this lineup, and that's something that the coaches here are really proud of her for.
Finally getting her opportunity after that 9.775 from Robertson.
Nice handstand to start things out. Caught a little close to the bar, had that bend in her elbows. Big double layout, and that's the stick. They're hoping catches fire here and becomes contagious for this Arkansas team.
Yeah, you saw Chris Brooks in the background, talked to him before the competition and talked about how it's so important for them to get off to a strong start here.
Yeah, look at these elbows right there. Big deduction in this routine. Sometimes you see athletes do that because they're playing it safe, so to speak. They don't want to be too far away from the bar, so they get a little close.
Skylar Drazer for Florida.
She's let off a lot for this Florida team on vault, and that's the reason why. Just such a clean Yurchenko 1.5, and his strong air awareness to find that landing easily.
Gabby Dizador, 9.825. We talked about that opening up the opportunity to take deductions. They did, almost 2/10 off for Dizador on that landing on what was otherwise a pretty clean vault. So that just gives you an idea of how these judges work and how they will take that deduction if you give them the opportunity. Back over to the uneven bars now, Leah Smith, the next gymnast to go. You saw Jordan Weber in her 7th season here as the head coach of the Arkansas Razorbacks. And, you know, what's compelling about this team, you know, she's been there now into her 7th, as I mentioned, and always been a top 20 team. Their highest finish in 24 was 7th at the end of the season, but always trying to work and to be one of those elite teams in the country. This team, Sam, it feels like it has a little bit different edge. It has a little bit different attitude and maybe could make that next step.
Well, this athlete right here scored a 9.9 on bars last week. She needs to repeat that here today. This is looking really good. Really calm momentum is what I'm noticing here. I'd like to see her hips open a bit more on those handstand positions, but they get a 10-degree grace period. Not quite a stuck landing, but very clean on the bars.
Haley Klein, a 9.825, so looking to build on that is Leah Smith. Jenny Rowland in her 11th season as the head coach of the Florida Gators. compelling story as well. Came in her first year after Florida had won 3 consecutive national championships. Not always an easy spot to be. The expectations astronomical. Always great rosters. People are wondering, could this be the best roster she's ever had, and can they get over the hump and get back to the top? A big reason might be this athlete right here, MJ Frazier.
Hardest vault in the NCAA, Yurchenko double full. And it's just done so well. She twists incredibly fast to get herself around. Good positioning when her feet hit the ground. That's going to be a strong score for Florida. This is the same vault that Jordan Childs from UCLA does. Yurchenko double full. She cranks it around, little leg separation, but really, we're seeing the slow motion version, right? So really curious to see what the judges are able to pick out in fast motion from where they're sitting.
Yeah, that hop, you know, if I'm giving it a quick evaluation, a 10th, probably. Maybe one judge gives a half, maybe one judge gives a full 10th. We shall see. But other than that, outstanding vault from Frazier. Leah Smith, a 9.825. Callie Swaney now, the 4th gymnast to go. A pair of 9.825s for the Razorbacks.
Good handstand. Really placing her feet in that vertical position. Also having to work here to fight through this routine, give it some extra juice. Good double layout.
There you go.
And you could tell with her eyes, before she hit the ground, I knew she was gonna stick that because of how intense she spotted the ground. So look at her eyes right there. And they don't move even when her feet are locked in. That's what helped her have such a strong stick there.
And I just can't take my eyes off Chris Brooks. The guy is the biggest cheerleader in the room. Love his energy. He brings it every single night. All right, now Danny Ferris, 9.875 for MJ Frazier in that double twist.
Strong block off the table. Last week she scored at 9.925. I think she was trying to go too hard for that stick because she certainly had enough height off the table. Good positioning on the pre-flight, which means from the board to the table.
Adrian Burdett, the vault coach, you can see him on every landing there. He said before the competition, they did a little bit different approach. They've had more than 6 athletes warm up. They decide who is vaulting the best, and then that would be their lineup. He said, we're coming in tonight, we're picking our lineup, they're gonna warm up, and they're gonna go. Take some pressure off the athletes in the warm up. Just let them do what they need to do to get ready to compete. Sam, do you like that approach?
I do. When I competed, I like to know and be in that mindset. I didn't want to have to compete for my spot in the warm-up. But, hey, be so good they can't take you out, and that's another option for these athletes.
Sensational freshman so far, obviously early in her career, but this is Allison Cucci in the 5 spot, following a 9.775. This is a big routine for the Razorbacks. Got to hit here.
Yeah, really exciting routine. Huge pack salto. Wow. So much pause before she caught the bar. That skill's called a Van Leeuwen, back up to the high bar. Really exciting routine. Again, under-rotated the dismount just by a few degrees, which is the frustrating part. You can kind of see it on her face there. Look at this height. Pack salto, waits to catch the bar. Nicely done. And she just needed to get her chest moving a little bit more. She stopped her chest from moving when her feet hit the ground. That's why she under-rotated it a bit at the end.
No stuck vaults yet for the Florida Gators, but if you want to get a stuck vault on demand, and none other than Selena Harris-Miranda, watch this.
I saw her stick it in warm-up.
Tiny hop.
Oh, man. You know, the coaches, that's Adrian Burdett, associate head coach right there, they told us that the last 2 meets, the athletes have gone 6 for 6 sticks in the 30-second touch, and they were hoping that didn't happen today. Man, it's such a good vault. Twist a little early off the table. You see that knee bend, but again, it's up to the judges. We're getting the luxury of watching this in slow motion.
So good vault rotation, I would say, for Florida, but They let a little bit get away on those landings. Good, but not outstanding. And I think that's helped the Arkansas Razorbacks a little bit. You can see the scores on the right hand of your screen. That's our scoring tower. The lightly shaded score, that is the team's low score for that rotation. That means that'll be the score that would get dropped from their team total. And you got to feel like, yeah, it looks like Florida's going to have this lead, but man, it could be a lot bigger. You see a couple scores in the 9-7s that Arkansas is going to have to count. Their high scores being those 9-8-7-5s, or 9-8-2-5s rather. And here's Morgan Price trying to get a big one here at the end.
Wow, and she is a gamer. She's already scored a perfect 10 on this event when she was at Fisk. It was the first perfect 10 from an HBCU gymnast in history. And coaches just say every time she salutes, she just goes for it.
Oh, they needed that.
And another incredible routine. Wow. Sister Frankie Price was among the first to give her high fives. Cool to see sisters on the same team.
9-9 for Selena Harris Miranda. Arkansas needed this big one.
Yeah, this is going to be their highest bar score for sure. You see she hits the bar in a perfect handstand shape. Wow, definitely above a 9-9 here, in my opinion.
Sam's calling it. We shall see if the judges agree. They are going to count those 2 9-7-7-5s. They actually had 3 of them. They'll drop that low. Couple 9-8-2-5s for Arkansas. Looking for that big 9-9 plus. 2 9-9s for the Florida Gators. Their low score, a 9-8-2-5. While we're waiting for that final score, let's go down to Taylor. She's with one of the Florida Gators.
Yes, Danny Parrish joins me now. Danny, some difficulties on vault last week for you guys. How important was it for you guys to start off so strong on that event?
Extremely important. I think just gaining that confidence back, and we know we have it. We're a good team. We have the potential to do it, and I think it's just really staying together as much as possible and making it happen.
I can already see down here on the floor a lot of momentum that you guys are creating, especially being back at home. How can you guys carry that through the next 3?
I think just keeping up the same thing we've been doing, just make sure we're still together for everything, pay attention to our own team, not anything else that's going on, and making sure we're having each other's back in every moment.
On to bars. Thanks for the time.
Thank you.
All right, thanks Taylor, thanks Danny. So a decent start for the Florida Gators on that vault rotation that gave them so much trouble last week. For the Arkansas Razorbacks, Morgan Price, 9.9 for that bar routine. We thought maybe it could have gone a little higher than that. The judges did not see it that way. And that means after one rotation, yeah, the big Gator with the lead, 0.275 over the Razorbacks after one. The 39th annual WWE Royal Rumble is set for tomorrow in Saudi Arabia. Cody Rhodes will be there streaming exclusively with the ESPN Unlimited plan, live or on demand using the ESPN app. Sign up or log in with your TV provider to unlock your access. Coverage begins at 2 Eastern Time, 11 a.m. Pacific. And how about a gymnastics connection to WWE? You didn't see this coming, Sam. Darian Goborn, former Auburn Tiger, superstar, 9 WWE Next wins. And KJ Johnson, national champion from LSU, tried out last week as well. I'm going to sign you up, Sam.
No,
You're
thank
next.
you, but I've chosen a different path. But hey, gymnasts can do it all. That's what I want to say. Man, I'm biased, but this is so cool.
Absolutely, they can do it all. Our score after that first rotation, a .275 lead for the Florida Gators. Not insurmountable, but the Arkansas Razorbacks going to vault where they hope to shine, where they're exceptional, try to close that gap as you see our countdown clock to the next rotation. Sam Pesek, highlights from that first rotation.
Yeah, Kayla DiCello starting things off for Florida on vault with a 9-9. Great block, good height off the table, and strong positioning on the landing. And then Selena Harris Miranda finishing things off with, again, good hop off the table, just the hop on the landing. She's such a fast twister.
I guarantee you, Selena is mad about that vault.
I know.
She sticks it every time. We teed her up to stick it, and then she just gave us that tiny little hop. But man, she is so fun to watch. Next rotation coming up. Florida goes to the uneven bars. They are outstanding. They're number 1 in the country. The Arkansas Razorbacks, they go to vault where they're the number 3 team in the country. It's going to be a good one when we return. On ESPN, we're getting ready for our second rotation. Arkansas goes to the vault. They are the #3 team in the nation there. They're going to have to get all they can. Florida Gators, #1 in the nation. They go to the uneven bars. Sam, heading into this rotation, give us some things to watch for.
Lauren Williams, the back half of the lineup. Yurchenko, 1.5. Look how tall she lands this vault. Does a good job finding the landing and just planting her feet. Then you can't ignore Morgan Price on this event as well. Huge block off the table, but it's her arm positioning on the pre-flight right here. Look how straight those are. That is textbook. That helps her get so high off the table and have such a vertical landing. Then on Florida's side, Riley McCusker, I don't think anyone has better form than Riley, maybe just as good, but look at this. Sometimes when athletes do twisting elements, their legs separate. Not Riley. Her legs are glued, her toes are pointed, her ankles are together. Any sort of way, the judges can see it in a 4D and she wouldn't get a deduction. And then Sky Blakely, her dismount is so impressive. She finishes 1.5 flips above the bar. That is just incredible. I don't think you're gonna find anyone in the world that does a better dismount double front half than Sky Blakely.
Leading things off for vault and the Razorbacks, Cammie Weaver, the redshirt senior from Legacy Gymnastics in Alabama.
Yurchenko full. I was just gonna say, the goal for Arkansas on vault is to minimize landings. They need to capitalize on all of those details, especially in the landings, and Cammie did a good job leading them off. That is the most minimal slide you could probably do.
I feel like for Arkansas in this rotation, if they want to keep it close, we mentioned .275 separates Florida from Arkansas. If they want to keep it close, keep that number from growing, I feel like 2 or 3 sticks are almost going to be absolutely necessary, because over on the uneven bars, as we see MJ Frazier leading things off, the #1 team in the nation, the Florida Gators, they can absolutely fly on this event.
I asked head coach Jenny Rowland why MJ Frazier in this lead-off spot, and she said, you know, we know she's gonna hit, she's gonna set the tone, but any of these athletes for the Florida bar lineup could anchor any lineup in the country on this event. So they're all capable of scoring a 10. Big double layout. Just a little scoochy scooch with the dismount, but strong handstand positions. Keeping her legs together, at least from this angle. Little separation in that pack salto, but that double layout, really solid.
Yeah, the area of separation, again, those landings for Florida, if they can go up and hit and stick half of their landings, and Arkansas on the other side doesn't get a couple of those stuck vaults, that lead is going to expand. It could even double. So the pressure on the Razorbacks, Leah Smith in the 2 spot right here, following that 9.85 from Cammie Weaver. Good start, but they got to build from there.
It's the landing.
Oh, and
man.
she wanted it.
And she had such a strong block. If you're wondering what a block means, it's right here. Straight arms on the table, and if you put your arms above your head and you do a shoulder shrug, that's essentially a block, except they're upside down in a handstand shape. Leah had a really strong block. Man, that would have been a really good score if she just held on to that landing.
You got to think the Razorback staff is like, hey, we got 2 Yurchenko full starting. They start from a 9.95. Let's get 1 stick out of those 2, and they darn near got one right there. Anya Pilgrim, the junior, now follows a 9.9 from Frazier in the leadoff spot. Look out, here come the Gators.
Nice to Tkachev. And different than MJ, Anya is a little bit slower of a momentum. One is not better than the other. I think it's harder to have Anya style because you really have to place your body. Otherwise, it's very apparent when you don't hit those vertical shapes. We're not seeing a lot of stuck landings from either team. I'm actually a little surprised. But Anya said that she's been keeping track of the amount of Tkachevs, that's what this skill is, ever since she learned it. You want to guess how many Tkachevs she's done? And this was before warm-up. 2,736 made. I asked her why she did it. She's like, you know, it's a good reminder if I miss one, I've made thousands more.
We'll add another one to that list. That's impressive. Allison Cucci now in the 3 spot. Got to get some big ones here for the Razorbacks.
First, Yurchenko 1.5. Big step, but again, their technique on the pre-flight, seeing a lot of straight arms here.
Sunday on ESPN and the ESPN app, the Women's College Game Day crew will be at the Moody Center in Austin, Texas at noon Eastern to get you set for a big day of women's basketball. Then number 14 Baylor and number 22 West Virginia at 1 Eastern. Then on ABC, 4th-ranked Texas hosts 10th-ranked Oklahoma. World class is what I would use to describe Riley McCusker on the Any Given Bars. Here she goes.
I talked to her during warm-up and just asked her how it's going, and she said there's a phrase that keeps popping in her head this year, and it's always grateful, never satisfied. She said she thinks about it when she goes into the gym, when she's saluting, and it's really helped her compete free and aggressive. She has the most impeccable form all the way down to her toes. Nice timing on all of her skills as well. Wow. When you can hold that handstand position, it's basically like extra credit, but you gotta stick the landing if you're going for that perfect 10.
Man, it's right there, Sam. So perfect on the bars. You're not gonna see a better executed bar routine than Riley McCusker, but that step.
And look at her legs just glued right there. Highlighted her ankles together. It doesn't matter which angle you're looking at, but she holding that handstand is such a highlight. She would have been on 10 watch had she stuck that dismount. She scored a 9.975 just last week.
Yeah, keep an eye on that skill if you can remember that at home. Most gymnasts, you're going to see a little leg split. Not from McCusker. Here's Haley Klein.
Doing a Yurchenko 1.5. Oh, coaches said they're just waiting for her to stick this vault in competition because she sticks it so much in practice. But John, as you know, it is so hard to simulate the adrenaline, especially on vault.
And the thing people need to know on that 1.5 twist, if you really want to stick it, you got to kind of open and anticipate that landing. If you're off a little bit, you can sit it down easily, if not take a huge step forward. So it's such a hard landing to be perfect on. You almost want to play it safe and take that step forward. Kayla DiCello 9.9 in the leadoff spot for Florida on the vault in the last rotation. Riley McCusker 9.875 right before her. There's DiCello on bars.
She's another one of those dynamic athletes on this event. That's something that head coach Jenny Rowland said that she's really proud of this team for, is just how high all of their release moves are and the diversity throughout their lineup. I can't agree more. It's so fun to watch these athletes. Wow. This is a good one.
There you go. There's your stuck landing, Sam Pesek.
I wanted it. Kayla delivered. Look at this handstand. She hits that vertical, but over the top. Just pulls it on slightly. That was, for me, the biggest deduction in this routine. Should be minimal. Not quite a perfect 10 because of that save, but I'm willing to bet it's the highest score in their bar lineup so far.
Yeah, through 19 athletes, no scores over a 9.9. So we'll see if that's the first one to get there. Lauren Williams now on vault. Can she get a stuck landing?
Yurchenko 1.5, just that hop forward. You see it on their face. In gymnastics, you know what went wrong about a millisecond after you did it. So here, she gets it around, just doesn't open up early enough to find the landing.
So great vault, no stuck landing. They have one more to go. Let's go over to bars. So Sky Blakely's coming up, coming off a world championship where she finished 4th on this event. Keep this in mind. If you took the Florida roster and you put them on a world stage, you put them at a world championship, this team would contend for a team medal at a world championship. The first 5 athletes in this bar lineup have all competed at a world championships, most of them winning world medals. It is astronomical how good they are.
They got to add a few more of their skills back, but I agree. With the few extra training sessions would do a really good job. And Sky is working on those details. I saw a vertical handstand from her, and coming up is that big dismount I love. Wow, she knew exactly where she was. Again, spotted the landing before her feet hit. One and a half flips above the bar. She continues to rise. No one does it like that. And then to finish with a stuck landing, Owen's excited.
Coach Owen Field on the side there loves it. Of course he does. Sky Blakely, just a tremendous athlete. Talked to her mom before the competition. I'm sure she's going crazy up in the parents section right now. So that just adds to the pressure for Morgan Price in this anchor spot for the Razorbacks. Look like the Gators are going to end with a bunch of 9-9s. Arkansas still looking for their first.
Yurchenko 1.5, very controlled hop forward. I was so shocked to hear that she just upgraded this vault in the preseason. They worked really hard to make her feel comfortable with this landing. There's really no built-in deductions there, so you know, if she doesn't get a 10 here, it's basically like, when is she gonna get her 10? Because if she sticks that vault, there's really nothing to take, in my opinion.
Well, when she does, or when Lauren Williams went right before her, get a 10, it will be the first 10 for an Arkansas Razorback in the history of the program. We talked to head coach Jordan Weaver a little bit about that, and she wouldn't really bite when I asked her this question, but I think, you know, getting a 10 is a little bit of an emotional decision. And I said, does it matter what leotard you're wearing? She said no, but it just makes me scratch my head. They've done some tremendous gymnastics. Here is Selena Harris Miranda in the anchor spot. 9.95 for Sky Blakely right before her. Florida really bringing it.
Wow, perfect handstand to get things started. Another one clocked in the vertical position. Failed a handstand, just holding those positions. This is looking good. She gets a stick, we're gonna be on 10 watch.
Gotta be. Absolutely gotta be on 10 watch. I'm not sure if she'll get it, but you gotta think it's gonna be at least a 9.95, probably higher.
Hey, Sky Blakely got a 9.95. It's basically like an assist in other sports, giving
That
her
is a
that
great
momentum.
analogy.
Good, you see her arms were straight before she caught the bar. That means she had the perfect amount of distance when she went to catch.
I think we should put him and Chris Brooks from Arkansas side by side and see which one's a better cheerleader.
Well, Selena's not going to break her streak, but all scores on bars this year have been a 9.9 or better. That is some really great data points, if you're asking me.
She has scored a 10 on the uneven bars as well as on the vault. You know, that bar lineup, we talked about how amazing it is for the Florida Gators. Selena Harris Miranda doesn't have that international pedigree of the rest of that lineup, but I'll tell you what, she's the best collegiate gymnast out of that group. Right now, if you look at her resume in college, she is the best collegiate gymnast, and that's after 5 world team members, Sam. That's amazing what this Gator team has. .995, so a pair of 995 to end the bar rotation for the Florida Gators. The crowd doesn't love it, but it has expanded the lead to over half a point for the Florida Gators. They've got a lead halfway through. You're watching the SEC on ESPN. We're halfway through here in Gainesville, and right now it is the Florida Gators with a comfortable lead. Over 0.5 of a point. That is a decent lead in women's gymnastics, but there's 2 events to go, and most notably, they got to do beam yet. We will see how the rest of the way goes. The top 10 in the nation as it stands right now, Sam, the top 4 teams in the country, all from the SEC. The SEC all over that top 10, but also some surprise teams in there.
Yes, some may be surprised that Georgia, Stanford, and Michigan are included here on that list. It's great to see them doing so well. We've seen a couple of them, and I'm excited to see Stanford in the mix. They have a lot of strong athletes on that team that I'm excited to see in college gymnastics.
Yeah, and the one team in the top 6 that's not from the SEC is UCLA, and they are led by a superstar Olympic champion, Jordan Chiles.
Oh man, it's been so fun to watch this team and this athlete in particular, hardest vault in the NCAA, and she just has this knack for finding the landing. Highest all-around score in the NCAA this season. But guess what? She's scored even higher than that in the past. So I think she's just starting, and she's going to build on this throughout the rest of the season.
Kentucky and Oklahoma faced off earlier tonight, and the all-around champ, you might not have guessed it, but it was Delaney Rodriguez, the Wildcat.
Well, I have been talking up Delaney Rodriguez since she's been to Kentucky, because she is just so solid. Her landings are really strong. She has good technique, and she just has this ease about her that makes it so fun to watch.
The Sooners did get the win, but the Oklahoma Sooners coming on. They put up a 196. They're really starting to come into form, hopefully after a slow start. Florida with the lead here as we head into the third rotation in Gainesville.
Back here in Gainesville after rotation 2. Let's check out some highlights. Sky Blakely with a big 9.95. Big score, even bigger gymnastics to finish things out. And Selena Harris Miranda anchoring this bar lineup, another 9.95. I thought it could have been a little higher. We're going to be on 10 watch. She is so good
Gotta be.
at finding the landing. Slid her feet just a little bit now that I saw it again. But Morgan Price for Arkansas, 9.925. Such a highlight. Great pop off the table, good technique, great form. Once she sticks that, she's going to be on 10 watch.
We're heading into that third rotation. How we got here, Florida led by .275 after one. A couple of 9.9s for Florida on vault. And then it's kind of like the floodgates opened up. They put up their second highest score of the season at 49.6. And they've expanded that lead to over half a point. Keep in mind, a fall is a half a point deduction. So in order for the Razorbacks to maybe erase that lead quickly, they'd actually need 2 falls from the Florida Gators, theoretically, to count that 5/10 deduction, if that makes sense. Alyssa Arana for the Gators to lead off. I always say, Sam, though, there might be a half-point lead, but the meet doesn't start till you get to beam. Both teams got to get up on that 4-inch wide beam, and they've got to hit at least 5 routines, and here we are at that event.
That handspring layout series. This is an athlete that anchored the lineup last year, and coaches say they put her in the leadoff because the team has so much confidence in her. As most of you probably know from watching gymnastics, this is one of, if not the most important spot in the lineup to set the tone for the team. Strong arm positions when she finishes her skills.
Alyssa tied for the 25th ranking in the nation on the balance beam, so nice to lead off with someone ranked in the top 25.
Saw a wobble after that full turn. It's always the full turn. Any former gymnast will tell you that when you hit a rock solid routine, it seems to be the easiest, simple skill that you have a bobble on, but really strong lead off with every other skill that she did. The hard skills in the routine, of course.
So a nice start for Florida. So nice to get that first one out of the way too, Sam. Get that first hit, set the rest of the team up for success, take a little bit of that pressure off. Arkansas over on the floor exercise. They're ranked 8th in the nation on this event. Very good event for them historically. Allison Cucci will lead things off here, but it's time now for the Razorbacks. They have got to go big. They've got to get some clean landings. They've got to start putting up 9.9 or better, or they are not going to chase down the Gators, and it starts now. Can't wait.
Big double layout. Oh man, that front foot just slid. Good lead positions, getting those all the way around. That's been an area of focus for this team. Head coach Jordan Weber said it's really about us versus us. They want to make incremental improvements every single week, specifically on this event. Can we go 49-4 or 49-5 every weekend? She said, I know our team is capable of it. Solid. The first pass, she had a really big, beautiful double layout. When she landed, look at this front foot though. It just slid after she had it down right there. She picks it up. And she's trying so hard to work with all of her toes to just keep it planted, but she straightened that leg, couldn't quite hold it down.
9.85 in the leadoff spot for Alyssa Arana. Thought that one might have, coulda, shoulda, woulda been a little bit higher. But Sky Blakely now in the 2 spot. Wow.
That is so hard. A wolf turn is so hard. She does a triple wolf turn into a double wolf turn like it's nothing. You know, what I really appreciate about this Florida team is that they have the big skills and they're not afraid to do them.
Well, Sam, Sky Blakely told me this week she is continuing to pursue both elite and NCAA simultaneously, and she told me a big part of it is keeping some of those elite skills in these routines for maintenance. She said, mentally, I have to always know that I have those in my arsenal. It's been a real collaborative process between her and the coaching staff, making sure the routines keep some of those elite skills.
Yeah, Taylor, great point from her doing those big skills, and I actually think college gymnastics has helped a lot of the athletes who are going back to the elite competition compete well, because in college you compete every single weekend, so you're flexing that muscle even if you're not doing the biggest skills. And I think for an athlete like Sky Blakely, it's going to help that aspect of it tremendously.
And what a story she is. Her elite career in 2024 was sky high, no pun intended. She was going into the Olympic trials really on that team. She just had to get through the competition, do average gymnastics. She finished second to Simone Biles at the U.S. Championships, which you could argue means she's the second best all-arounder in the world. Just had to be healthy, but she got hurt, tore her Achilles tendon, and that Olympic dream was torn away from her. And really, that chance to stand on the top of the Olympic podium, which she would have been an Olympic champion. Heartbreak from her, but she is not done. She will be making a run at 2028. What a story. As we see Morgan Price now follows that Kuchi 9.825.
Double pike, under-rotated, had to take a hop forward. You know, what we're seeing throughout this meet here is really good gymnastics, but it's the landings that are eating them throughout this meet. Finishing a 2.5. Oh, hand touched the floor. So not only is that an out of bounds, but that's a fall. Really interesting. It's almost like she just lost her balance trying to stay in bounds.
So unfortunate.
So, you know, deduction, and then 1/10 for going out of bounds right there, and it's putting a hand down. That's technically a fall, even though she really didn't even need to do that fall, man.
Unfortunate. Let's go down to Taylor.
Well, guys, we're seeing MJ Frazier in her first all-around opportunity since becoming a Gator. And let me just tell you, she has been so locked in. Even during warm-ups, I watched her when they were over on floor. She spent some time laying on her back, had her eyes closed, just really kind of taking mental reps, and I have seen it throughout the entirety of this meet. Jenny Rowland speaks so highly about the impact of this athlete. Guys, it's probably one of the biggest names that was in the transfer portal this past offseason. Maybe not talked about as much because of how deep this team is, but make no mistake the impact she's having on this team.
Yeah, absolutely, Taylor. She was a star for the Cal Bears, and a big get adds so much depth to an already deep Florida Gator team.
Yeah, and guess what? She's already scored a perfect 10 on this event at Cal, so everyone knows what she's capable of. She has that perfect combination of beautiful, overextended elite positions right here. Oh, slight wobble, but also dynamic and powerful, so she is the perfect combination.
Currently tied for 13th in the nation on this event. A 10-time All-American as well.
Solid stick.
That routine follows a career-high score for Sky Blakely of a 9.95.
Check out this really impressive front aerial. You can't see it from this angle, but on the other side, her toes are completely off the beam. But if you notice with her upper body, you wouldn't be able to tell unless you were looking directly at her toes. It's not a deduction when your toes are off the beam. It's just incredibly difficult to bring it back on the beam.
Why not make it harder than it already is, right?
Yeah.
We don't need those toes. So 3 hit routines for the Florida Gators. They don't need to be perfect at this point. They need to avoid major mistakes, large deductions. They can have a few steps on the landings. They have that cushion. As we wait for the Morgan Price score, we have a judges conference on floor. Saturday on ESPN, college basketball rolls on at noon. Cameron Boozer leads 4th-ranked Duke against Virginia Tech. Then number 20 Louisville hosts SMU, and at 4:30, AJ DeBonsa and number 13 BYU take on number 14 Kansas. All games are also available on the ESPN app. I mean, she's having so much of a hard time. Her hair turned purple. So.
Well, I think the judges are also confused by what happened because
absolutely.
It was a skill that she didn't need to touch her hand on the floor, and it didn't look like a fall, but when you touch your hand on the ground, that's a fall.
Yeah, you put your hand down, that's a deduction. Put your hand out of bounds, that's a deduction. Plus, you could argue the off balance leading into that opened yourself up to deduction. It looks like maybe that wants to inquire.
Yeah, that's exactly what I saw Jordan say.
Morgan Price a 9.075. Regardless of where they get that score to, it feels like that is absolutely one that you're going to want to drop. Leah Smith. Now the pressure on the rest of these athletes, remember, you count the top 5 scores, they've got to be perfect from here on out.
They rested Leah on floor last weekend. They're pretty deep on this event, so they have the luxury of doing that. Solid, no issues with that first pass. Again, a few, I'm going to say, landings that did not look super confident from Arkansas on floor, which is really uncharacteristic. Usually floor is really their sweet spot and where they shine. Front layout into a double back, and that was a solid landing. But right here, she struggled a little bit it almost was like she was a little uncertain with her landing.
Yeah, you hate bringing up landings over and over again, but really that's the single biggest difference maker, it feels like, between these two teams so far here tonight. Selena Harris-Miranda follows that MJ Frazier 9.85, which equals their lowest score on this event so far. So right now, Florida dropping a 9.85. Certainly capable of building on that with these last three athletes.
Triple series, back handspring, layout, back handspring. Not many athletes do that triple series, and I always think it's genius because the layout is tough, and if you're a little off balance, a back handspring is super easy, especially for an athlete like Selena. She could just pull it back on. Balance check right there. I think she used every muscle in her core to pull it back on.
She's currently tied for second in the nation on this event. Top 4 on 3 different events currently.
The coaches say that really nothing phases her. I think that's what makes her so strong, especially on beam. And another stuck landing. It's no surprise. I even asked head coach Jenny Rowland, what percentage of landings does she stick in the gym at practice? And she said 99. 99% landings are stuck. Right here, though, is, wow.
Nice save.
Wow. You could see it in her face. She was trying to finesse the arms a little bit, but bounces back with a beautiful stuck 1.5.
All right, let's go over to Flora, and maybe Taylor can give us a little bit more insight on that Morgan Price Flora team.
Yeah, John, there was some deliberation down here between the judges, and obviously Jordan Weaver jumped in to ask. The debate was if her hand on the floor braced some of her weight or just brushed the floor. The meet ref told me that if a lot of weight was braced with that arm into the floor, it's a bigger deduction as opposed to if she just brushes it.
What'd you think, Taylor? You're right there. Did she have weight on that hand?
You know, there's a reason it was being deliberated because it was right in the middle, John.
Yeah, good response, Taylor. It's a tough call, and it's also tough with a subjective sport. You don't want to give anything up to question for these judges.
Lauren Williams, nice opening pass.
Well, guys, Lauren Williams is one of several Arkansas gymnasts that have returned from injury this year. She actually had an elbow surgery last January. Obviously, we saw her earlier on vault. She was wearing a large brace on that right elbow. Doesn't feel the need to wear it on floor. She talked to me this week about how much better she feels. She said, I feel stronger now than I did before the surgery. It's the reason she opted for the surgery in the middle of last season so she could be 100% for her team this year.
Yeah, Taylor, head coach Jordan Weaver said she's really had the mindset, not just how can I get back, but how can I get back and be better? And I think you're really seeing that in how she's competing and the intensity and focus she has every time she salutes.
Yeah, she's going to be a big factor for this team if they can make a run at the end of the year. But here's another look at this. Is there weight on the hand? Sam Pesek, you're on the spot.
Saves it out of bounds there and then just touches. I don't think there is actually, well,
I'm going to have to. I think there.
You think there's?
I think there's enough. Look, I think there's enough.
Is it significant weight or is it just a little weight? She doesn't have more than half of her body weight.
Here's the problem, and we'll go back to what we like to call the gray area. You have just let the judges decide whether there's weight.
Yeah.
And it looks like there was some weight. How much weight?
Yeah.
Is it a certain percentage? The point is, if they want to take it, they're going to take it.
Yeah.
And you can't really argue otherwise. And that is the hard part of gymnastics being a judge sport. They saw that there was weight. Here's Kayla DiCello. Selena Harris-Miranda, a 9.9, so the second score of 9.9 or better.
Kayla adding that double wolf turn. That's new for this routine. She made some changes. She was really frustrated because she doesn't struggle on beam in the gym, but hasn't been pleased with what she's done in the competition. So switched around her routine construction a bit. Had no issues with that upgraded wolf turn. She's just going to be doing a back handspring layout not a triple series. And you can see the smile there. She's really happy with the changes. Coaches say that she crushed the inner squad this week, and now she's feeling really good. And for her this year, it's about building that confidence back up. You can tell with her body language, she does look confident up there. She looks calm. And this was a good reset routine for her. Something she's going to be incredibly proud of.
Yeah, you wouldn't think confidence or doubting yourself would be something that a world all-around medalist would deal with, but it's a sport of gymnastics. It creeps in from all different angles.
Switch leap. It's got to be above 180, and hers certainly is. Great angle there. Finishing with that back handspring. Gainer full off the back, no problems.
We have seen some scores flirt with the 10. And of course, the hometown crowd has wanted a 10 numerous times for the Florida Gators. We'll see what the judges do with that cello score. Outstanding floor worker, number 15 in the country is Frankie Price. Razorbacks looking for a big number here.
We were talking about her teammate Lauren Williams coming back from an injury. She also came back from an injury, and coaches say this was the hardest for her to come back from, but nothing was going to stop her. Oh. Missed the timing and the correct angles for that double layout. Didn't get enough rotation to make it to her feet. And an athlete that we know is so good on this event. Here's that double layout. Didn't really rushed it, so she didn't stand up tall enough before she started flipping for that double layout. And just last year, oh man, that was her injury. And you know that double layout and landing short, it probably resurfaces. You see that in your mind, so.
Absolutely.
It's great that she finished the routine and hopefully feels a lot better than she did last year.
Yeah, very similar landing, and any gymnast knows landing like that anytime does not feel good, let alone having a history that she does. Riley McCusker leading things off in her routine in the anchor spot. A big position for her to be in here following that cello 995.
But not much pressure because they have 5 hit routines in front of her. So this will just be cherry on top if she can get above that 985, which is the current low score. She's straight on the beam, so just a few balance checks. You don't want to second guess yourself on beam. You want to have so much conviction, even if you're a little crooked on beam, even if your toes are off, you still have the ability to not look like you're crooked on the beam.
Riley has not done a lot of beam for Florida in the last seasons, just done it twice, and it has not gone great, but when you see her perfect, she is as good as anybody that can do that routine in college gymnastics. And you just, if you're her teammate, you're going, just do it like you're capable of doing it, because it's a 10.
Yeah, I mean, her skills really don't have any built-in deductions, but it's those second-guess landings that really add up throughout this routine. But such a beautiful beam worker, you can't deny that.
Absolutely. So that completes a very solid beam rotation for the Florida Gators. Unfortunately for Arkansas, the floor rotation has not gone as they hope, but they've got a big time routine to finish. World team member, Olympic team alternate in 2024, Jocelyn Robertson.
Need to dial in these landings. Yep, no movement. You see her heels were up, but she didn't move. That was a veteran move. She's so fun to watch on this event. Her showmanship, she's looking out to the crowd. She's getting everyone involved. Just that front foot on her last pass, sliding ever so slightly. Other than that, it was a really strong routine from Jocelyn.
Captain America. She is the consummate team player. She is tough as nails, and she can do big-time gymnastics like this.
Yeah, double layout. Her heels are up right there, but she doesn't move them. Watch this front foot right here when she lands. Lifted it ever so slightly.
They are going to have to huddle up, are the Arkansas Razorbacks. That is not the third rotation that they wanted. They do have one more to go. They're going to be in a big-time hole to dig out of, but they've got some big-time routines on the balance beam, including Jocelyn Robertson. Almost won the U.S. championships last year. Such a great competition to watch. Leanne Wong was in that mix, former Florida Gator as well, and she's battling an ankle injury throughout that competition, but man, she was gritty. Got herself on that world team later in the fall where she won a bronze medal on the vault. She is tremendous. Riley McCusker, a 9.7 in that anchor spot, so the judges got her on those wobbles. They will drop that score, but the low score for the Florida Gators, just a 9.85. So good rotation for Florida. Jocelyn Robertson finishes with a 9.85. They are going to have to count a miss of a 9.075 are the Razorbacks. Florida Gators, a season high on beam of a 49.5. They are in control. Welcome back to the O-Dome. John Roethlisberger, Sam Pesek, Taylor Davis. We are through 3 rotations, and it is a commanding lead for the home team, the Florida Gators, over a 1.5 over the number 6 team in the country, the Arkansas Razorbacks. Well, we got sisters competing. Always fun when you have sisters in the sport of gymnastics. They grow up together in the gym. So much fun, best friends. You also love to have a few spats with your, why not bring that competitiveness into your sport as well? 22, Frankie Price is at Arkansas. Meanwhile, her sister Morgan decided to change from Arkansas to go to Fisk to be part of the first HBCU team ever in history, where she got a 10, Sam.
Yeah, she set records there. This is an athlete that did phenomenal things for this program, bringing that athleticism here to Arkansas. Unfortunately, her sister, Frankie Price, had a season-ending injury last year, but came back, worked so hard, and we're lucky enough to get to watch her compete here today. Taylor, you're with her now.
I sure am, Sam. Thank you very much. Well, Frankie, obviously we've talked, you've dealt with injuries throughout your career, but I know this one has been a challenge for you, but you're back out there on floor doing what you love. What has it taken to get to this point?
A lot of blood, sweat, and tears. Honestly, this injury has held me back a good 9 months, but honestly, it was nothing compared to the one I previously had. I think the experience I got from that one helped me to push through for this one as well. My support system has been so helpful to me too, so they made it pretty easy.
part of that support system, being your sister Morgan, who is now also your teammate. What does it mean to the two of you to get to share your gymnastics career this way?
No, yeah, it's been so special. I'm so proud of Morgan. She's gone through so much and accomplished so many things, and I'm so proud that she can come to the SEC and get the treatment that she deserves and all this stuff. It's been great. She's become like a new best friend to me. It's been so fun having her in the gym, and she's awesome. A great addition to the team.
Incredible. Well, it's a blast to watch both of you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the way. Good luck, final rotation.
Thank you so much.
John.
Yeah, thanks, Taylor. You said it well. It is a blast to watch the both of them. Such great athletes, great personalities, and they're going to have to bring it with 1 to go. A big lead to overcome for the Razorbacks.
Welcome back to Gainesville. We had some highlights from Rotation 3. Sky Blakely with a 9.95 career high for her. She just, every time she competes, looks like she increases her confidence. And talk about someone that also looks steady, calm, and confident up there. Kayla DiCello, that 9.95, that's a season high for her.
So here's your meet summary through 3, and it's really been the Florida Gators. 2.275 after 1. You thought, okay, maybe if Arkansas can bring it on vault, they can keep it close, but it just has been stretching that lead of the Florida Gators. Half a point. Now it's over a 1.5. Side note, that Morgan Price score did go up a half a tenth. Not really going to significantly affect anything, but since we spent so much time talking about it, you might as well know about it. Leading off for the Razorbacks, sophomore Madison Goose Titus. She's out of San Jose State transfer.
In that very important leadoff position, and head coach Jordan Weber said she's here because she really has that it quality on beam. She just exudes confidence. She's getting really comfortable here.
Well, Sam, speaking of exuding confidence, it's exactly what this coaching staff challenged this lineup to do before this beam rotation. Chris Brooks had the entire team around him on the floor in a huddle, told all of them, go fight in this last rotation. Go do beam the way we do beam. There is no reason to be timid in this final rotation.
Oh, that's good stuff, Taylor. Yeah, everybody that's ever competed a beam routine knows sometimes you gotta be a little angry. You gotta work aggressive beam, and that's the best message you can give this team heading into the last rotation. That was as good as she could have done it. That was aggressive beam right there.
Was that angry beam, Sam?
I think so. Sometimes when you're angry, you're a bit sharper, you're more dialed in. Makes a better routine.
The Florida Gator crowd is just, they are feeling it along with their team as we see a very happy Goose Titus for the Razorbacks in that leadoff spot. Jayla Booker, the freshman, she's been sensational on this event. out of Coral Springs, Florida, and American Twisters. The roof is going to come off this place if the Gators can really put together a floor rotation, maybe get the first 10 of the night.
Starting off, tuck full in. Man, those landing errors. You know, part of this I have to think, it's always exciting when you start the season. Now it's been 3 or 4 meets in, the excitement of season is starting to wear off, and it's hard. This is the hard part of season when your body is starting to feel it because you're competing every weekend. Combination pass. Really good comeback with that landing there. Strong lead for a freshman. She normally sticks this tumbling pass open full in. I mean, she doesn't even grab her legs, which is incredibly difficult to do. Looks like she just lost her balance there. I always think sometimes those sting landing or those sting mats, they hurt. They almost cause more issues than they help.
I agree with you.
Even though it helps your ankles a little bit in the moment, I think that your heels get stuck in them and cause you to wobble.
I agree with you, Sam. I've often questioned that as well, but certainly you want to keep your body healthy through the course of the season. Maybe as you get to the postseason, you start to take those out. We shall see. 985 in the leadoff spot. Haley Klein here in the 2 spot for the Razorbacks. Going to be tough for them to catch the Gators. The Gators will have to have some mistakes on floor for that to happen, but regardless, so important for this Razorback team to finish strong here on beam.
Really impressive standing layout series. It's great to see Haley competing more events this year. Apparently she beats everyone to the gym in the morning. She's here before 7 a.m. and they start practice at 8 a.m.
Including the coaches.
That's incredible. Just relentless work ethic, great teammate, positive, bubbly attitude, and a great example and role model of how to be an all-around athlete in every sense. And then when she goes out there and delivers strong routines, it adds even more stock to her case. Back layout. It takes so much force, so much push from those toes to get that series around.
Two down for Arkansas on beam. The second one for the Gators coming up on floor. It's Danny Ferris. 9.825 for Jayla Booker. If they can average just barely over a 9.9, if they can score as a team a 49.525, Florida will get a 198. It'll only be the 3rd team this season to get a 198 or better, joining LSU and Oklahoma.
Double layout. Her mom's Moroccan, so her music and dance this year celebrates her heritage. combination pass. Strong hit routine from Florida. She's a junior, and what's impressive to me is that both of these tumbling passes are upgrades. Double layout, she changed from that full in. She's always learning new skills, and especially the older you get, sometimes the harder that is. Both of these passes are new and nicely done. Well executed.
Yeah, head coach Jenny Rowland talked about how she really committed herself over the summer to take a next step forward in her career, and been a very valuable asset to this team. Allison Cucci now on the balance beam. You can see the all-around competition led by a couple of Florida Gators, Selena Harris, Miranda, MJ Fraser. Allison Cucci in that third spot, all around being contested by the athletes doing all four of the apparatus tonight.
Front aerial, good save, minimizing that wobble. Just a freshman, but coaches say from the moment that she got to Arkansas, she's been really steady, especially emotionally in the gym. She's so consistent, and you can see that translates to the competition floor. Good stick. Way to hang on to it at the end.
Well done. The coaching staff from Arkansas very excited about the next 4 years with this athlete. She is off to a fantastic start in her collegiate career.
Good replay. Judges don't get the luxury of seeing it in slow motion, but we do, and it's stunning. She fought for that landing.
Danny Ferris in the 2 spot for Florida, 9.875. So flirted with that 9.9. Taylor Clark now the next to go.
Worked really hard on this first pass, double layout. Wow. So quick, it rises in the air.
We talk about the 198 in women's gymnastics and why is it important. It's an average of a 9.9, and really, if you're going to win a national championship, if you're going to be one of the top teams in the country, a 198 is kind of that benchmark. If you want to win nationals, you better put up a 198. It's kind of a race to that number. It's not like basketball where you can win a low-scoring game by playing good defense. There is no defense. You got to score big if you want to win, and a 198 early in the season for Florida would be important.
Yeah, both Arkansas and Florida have had at least one pass from most of these athletes that have slid when they've landed, but this was a highlight for me. Double layout. She credits associate head coach Adrian Burde from helping her. He said that she needs to walk into it, otherwise she'll go out of bounds, but this Popa got a little wonky there at the end. Off balance in the air. I think she was just so high, couldn't quite get the rotation she needed to land sturdy.
Cami Weaver now on beam. We saw her on vault in the second rotation. Here she is on beam, following that Allison Cucci 9.85. So right now, good rotation for Arkansas on beam, dropping a 9.825.
Very nicely placed that handspring layout. This team has been challenged in the gym with a lot of different scenario assignments, and what I mean by that is they've had to do routines with lots of distractions, different landing surfaces. Oh.
Man, it seemed like she was just flowing. It was
Yeah.
on, and then it's not. I guess that's beam in a nutshell.
Again, if you second guess yourself, it's the number one rule is no hesitation. Once you put your foot down on beam, you got to keep it moving, because otherwise you might start thinking that you're off balance, or there's a lot of pressure, or any negative thought can really filter in. And once that happens, it's really easy that you're off the beam. Man, especially disappointing when you stick the landing. Here's that side aerial. Her back heel was off, but she reacted. I would have liked to see her respond in this scenario and just plant her foot. But again, she knows what she did wrong the second it happened.
Over to floor, Taylor.
MJ Frazier getting ready to compete on floor, and this routine is very special to her. It was actually a family affair. Her sister, Margzetta Frazier, former U.S. national team member and UCLA gymnast, actually helped choreograph this routine with Florida's choreographer, Jeremy Miranda. He told me Margzetta flew into town, the three of them went in the gym and just went to work. Margzetta is in attendance here tonight, watching the creation in action.
I love it. We saw her in the stands moments ago, and beautiful opening pass.
She's already scored 2 perfect 10s on this event, and she just moves so well. She's such a good dancer.
MJ looking for her first all-around title as a Florida Gator. Better than a 9.65 will move her ahead of Razorback Allison Cucci. Obviously, Selena Harris-Miranda yet to go for the Gators.
Associate coach Adrian Burde says, let's go. He was pretty happy with it.
Didn't take long for the Cal Bear to learn the Gator chomp here in Florida. Well done, MJ Frazier.
The only thing in question from what I saw is the landing right here. Look at that front foot. Did she move it, or did she finesse it and have a dance choreography right after it? The judges will have to tell.
Unfortunately, Cammie Weaver, a 9.225. That is the lightly shaded score they will hope to drop. As Morgan Price now also doing the all-around, but cannot catch the leaders.
Oh man, just didn't quite get her back heel down to finish that landing, but way to fight through the finish there. Hitch kick front aerial, strong arm positions. The number one rule of beam is to look at the end of the beam. That really helps with your balance. I know you want to watch them do their skills, but check out their vision and their eyesight. When they're heading straight down the beam, they're always looking at the end to keep them balanced. Quick double full to the landing, just that hop forward at the end.
Jordan Weaver and Chris Brooks, coaches, obviously, husband and wife as well, welcomed their first baby recently. Now
Gigi.
8 months old, Gigi. Gigi Brooks is in the house, apparently. All the fans have been clamoring to see Gigi, but we haven't had a chance yet.
I met her before the meet, and she is so cute.
Sky Blakely now follows that MJ Frazier. You're reading it correctly, 9.95. Blakely and Harris Miranda need to average 9.925 for Florida to reach that 198. Certainly something they are capable of.
Huge tumbling pass, leaping out of it. Really adds some cushion to control that landing. Last week scored a 9.925. Has the potential to go even higher. I love this routine. It's intense but playful at the same time.
Had trouble on this past 2 weeks ago against Alabama, went out of bounds. No problem.
Not tonight.
Look out, if Sky Blakely is finding her groove, it is a good sign for the Florida Gators. She takes gymnastics to another level.
She's definitely finding her groove. Double front to a stack jump. No issues there. Legs glued together on that combination pass. That was a beautiful floor routine.
And I am told, nicely done by Sky Blakely, but I'm told that Taylor Davis has got a special guest with her. Taylor?
Probably the most special, Gigi Brooks is with me, John. Like you said, the Gym Bag family grew a little bit this past summer. She was born in June, and she's in the house tonight. And let me just tell you, she has been very locked in. I have been told she enjoys being upside down, so that gymnast, you know, it's in the DNA, you have to assume. I don't know how I'm expected to be productive anymore, John.
Oh, once you have one, your life is never the same. It's true joy. I know everyone wants to see the baby. Hold on, we're working on it as we see Jocelyn Robertson working the beam in the ankle spot for Arkansas.
Talk about life-changing. Watching Jocelyn Robertson do beam, it's life-changing. She smiles through it, she has this ease, and then she's rock solid on her landings. It's just a wonder why she has not scored a perfect 10 on this routine yet. Last meet, she scored a 9.95. 3 weeks in a row, actually, 9.95. Calling the Hogs in her beam routine. Oh, just that step on the dismount.
Good finish. Tough competition overall for the Arkansas Razorbacks. Oh, there we go.
Oh, man.
I mean, you know what? This will be a cool clip to pull if I'm covering her career in 18 years, you know? She's a cutie.
So cute. This isn't her first meet, though. She's been to a couple already, and it looks like she seems to like it.
You look good with the baby, Taylor.
Thank you, John.
All right, we got more gymnastics. We got one more to go, and it's a big one. Selena Harris Miranda needs a 9.875 for Florida to reach a 198. Needs a 9.85 to win the all-around. Some things still at stake here for the Gators.
New pass. Added that full in back in. Oh, wow. I think she saved herself that out of bounds.
I think you are right. And when you're talking about an all-around title, that would make the difference. Again, 1/10 is the deduction for going out of bounds. She needs a 9.85 or better to win that individual title.
also moves so well. Another upgraded pass for Selena. Hangs onto that landing. So much fun. That's such a fun routine to anchor with. The crowd's excited about it.
Yeah, I love the scene over there too. It looks like the floor is being surrounded by cheerleaders and teammates.
Full in.
Ah, touched.
Right there. What do you think?
Oh, that's out of bounds. That is absolutely touching the gray. The question is, did the judges see it? If a tree falls in the forest and no one's there to hear it, does it make a sound? And that's the question.
Yeah.
They cannot see that from where they're sitting
No.
on the other side of her, but there's another table that's got judges. And that could be the difference in the all-around title. We'll see. By the way, Sky Blakely, a career high 9.975 right before her. Great day for Blakely.
What's impressive is she had no idea how close she was for that line, but got her heel up so high that she made a good case for herself.
Gators having a good time in the O-Dome tonight. A dominating victory. Will it get them to the magic 198? You can see that almost over 2 points. And it does. 198.05 and 9.925. Selena Harris Miranda, the judges did not see what we saw. The magic of camera work certainly would not make the difference in the team title. Quick comment, Sam?
Yeah, the Florida looks good, and I see a lot of landings that they could even clean up from there. So to see them score this high early in the season is impressive.
Well, congratulations to the Florida Gators on getting the win. For Taylor Davis, Samantha Peshek, I am John Roethlisberger. Coming up next, it's VCU versus Loyola in basketball. It's been a good one here from Gainesville. Good night, everybody.
That 198. What did this one mean for the progress of season?
Oh, it meant the world. We really put a lot of work in this week. We really restructured how we function in the gym, and it paid off today. We got our highest score of the season so far, and we only go up from here. So we were so united. I'm so proud of everybody.
This team doesn't just have talent, you have depth. And we see that on display with these lineups continuing to change. How beneficial is it for you guys to have so many people that you know you can put anywhere and hit?
I think it's fabulous because people have a chance to rest. People have a chance to go and show what they've been working on in the gym. And everyone's just so respectful of each other and really appreciates that we can all alternate and really be there for each other. So it's fabulous, and I love it.
An all-around title for you tonight, and you have just become automatic here for Florida. What is it about NCAA gymnastics that's bringing out the best of you right now?
I just have so much confidence. My training really has just really helped me so much. The self-belief, the belief from my coaches and from my family at home. Love you guys. But yeah, that really made it all come together today, and I hope it goes through the rest of the season. I lost my voice. Sorry.
Because we're cheering for a 198. Go enjoy it with your teammates.
Thank you so much.